here we are with another episode of your lovely podcast. Today we're talking with Jack, or Captain Jack, which we'll get into later. Talking about everything to do with fitness, mindset, how everything's going with you and us, and how we got on this journey. Jack's also got some fun stuff to share with us about some cool tattoo stories maybe, but also...
Potentially.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some in the...
And your amazing effort into the fitness world this year, yeah?
Yeah, man.
But we can also start with some of our other stories. So really it's over to you, like where we can dive into any of those different stories and we can also blend them all together.
Yeah, but, I think I shot you a message, didn't I? And there's three things that I'm good at talking about, and that's tattoos, fitness, and recovery, and addiction, that kind of thing. But so Jack, I've been training. I train in Kingston at the gym group. Yep. And I've been training with a guy called Toby Pink, who I've actually known for quite a while now. Like, I want to say like a good 8 years, something like that. But he's been training with me now for, I think just under 2 years that we've done. So, but I just got back from doing a fitness photo shoot in December.
Yes.
Like beginning of December, so that I could eat like a shit ton of food over Christmas. Yeah, that was nice.
So insert photos here, but basically this was like, to most people over doing fitness and stuff and diets and stuff, this is the penultimate. This is like the leanest, the most trimmest, plus with the fake tan.
Yeah, it was
a full-on photo shoot.
Pretty intense, yeah. So I kind of wanted to do it because I've gone through the motions of like getting in the gym and then now falling in love with it, and now going through like my own recovery from drink and drugs and all that sort of stuff, you know? Yeah. So I started off kind of doing it for myself, and then I was putting it on social media, and like the whole sort of like progression of like working towards that photo shoot. I did it for myself predominantly, but I like to think it's a nice message you can share with other people, and you can put out there and like, you know, inspire other people to be like, crap, if this guy can do it, you know, maybe I can, you know?
Definitely. So, but back before that year, because really to cut down to that sort of real phase where you were, that sort of became like, I remember I'm seeing you online, that became that's been your last year's project. But before that, for those, because some of my guys listening to this and people like that would be that, how did you first decide you were going to end up going to the gym and getting a personal trainer?
Right, so I like to think that as a recovering alcoholic, we crave structure. I know I do. Like, I need some kind of routine, some structure in my life, or it just goes to pot. Yeah. I'm all over the place. And the very, very early stages of it, I passed my trainer Toby in the off license of all the places. Yeah. And I wasn't buying booze. But he went, oh, we should train together sometime. And I just sort of went, oh, yeah, I want to get back into the gym. Kind of like the idea of this. And it holds you accountable, you know, for everything that you do. And it gave me that structure, that routine to keep going back. And I've said now for a while, I kind of compare, I think there's a lot of similarities between going to like my AA meetings and then going to the gym. It's a lovely little community where everyone wants to help each other and they all want to jump in. You know, if you go up to the big scary guy in the gym, like, he's not going to bite your head off. He's going to give you a hand, you know, he's going to help you, especially to like a newcomer in the gym, you know, and someone that's starting out. So it's like a safe place. It's a second home, you know?
Yeah, so it really is. And it's just trying to get people into that mindset, because it can be quite intimidating in the first. But then again, so 100%. Meetings, I mean, normally when you go to a meeting to start with, you're at a stage where you like either being convinced by someone else, especially quite similar analogies. You've either been convinced by somebody else, you've been forced to go by the doctor.
There's so many similarities between the two. Yeah. And like someone that's fresh into an AA meeting or someone that's fresh into the gym like I was, like I kind of started going to my AA meetings and then kept going back to them, and you just shut up for a second and listen to everybody, you know? And then I started sharing at these meetings and talking openly about like things that had happened in my life. And then going to the gym and training with my trainer, Toby, you know, you hold yourself accountable. And there were guys in the gym that are like twice my size. And I was going up to them like, hey man, how's it going? You know, like I like talking to people. And I'm like, oh, do you reckon you could give us a hand with this or show me how to do this a bit better? Or like, what's my technique like on this deadlift, stuff like that. And it's a little community. You just got to support each other. So
you got your deadlift PB the other day?
I got it last night.
Oh, last night, wow.
Last night, yeah. I was so chuffed. And that's a prime example of how I make that connection between fitness and recovery in AA. Because my friend who is also called Jack, hi Jack, Jack Dimsey, he's a power lifter. He's stacked, this guy.
Yeah. And
I was just staring at the bar and I went, I reckon I could do 140. I reckon I could do 140. He was like, come on, Jack, let's go. And he's like, get it up. And I've done my first rep. And he's like, easy, too easy, do it again. Go on, you got more. And then I got the Elvis legs at the end.
Nice.
And I got the shaky leg and it was like, But it was a good feeling, you know, and that's what gym's about.
Yeah,
you know?
That is really what it's about. It's a combination of, community, as you said, sometimes personal goals, but mostly sometimes it is just about getting down there, trying something out one day, starting it in a way. Yeah. And then some of the other sort of fun things that you may have thought about, well, I thought to ask you, right, is it about the photo shoot as well? Do you not find that, like, you must be like the only guy on the internet who's covered in tattoos, like, does photo shoot like that? No?
It was weird. Yeah, because like I couldn't tell if like my veins were out or not because I'm just covered in colour tattoos.
Right. And then when you got covered in fake tan as well, you were
fake tan.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's really inspiring for people as well, that like maybe listen to a bit like alternative music or have tattoos, because there was that kind of old school mentality of like different types of gyms, wasn't there? There was the kind of like spit and sawdust gyms, and then a lot of these new modern day gyms. I mean, even like a Pure Gym, for example, it's very, or the Easy, the gym. They're very clean cut. They're very like like neon lights, and they're probably full of like everybody. You know?
Oh man, like I have like people. I've had people come up to me before. This is like. Over a year into my training, and like during my cut phase as well, I've had people come up to me like, oh, sorry, like, you know, like, are you using this? And I'll be on cables or something. And I'm like, nah, man, jump on, you know, go for it. Like, it's all good. What's your name? Sorry, you know? And like, pretty covered in tattoos, but the gym's supposed to be a safe, friendly place where it's approachable. And like, I have people coming up to me and I do a little dance and like, you know, I dance in between my sets.
Yeah, some of your videos are mad. Like absolutely mad. You love a good transition. You love something a bit weird.
I am a bit weird, but you know, you don't want to be normal your whole life, do you?
No.
But yeah, I have people coming up to me and asking me like stuff in the gym, like a couple of my friends as well, like who I train with, we met because, you know, we met at the bloody cables because we were helping each other through sets, and like, you know, that's why I say like the biggest, strongest guy in the gym is not someone to be intimidated by. He's going to be the guy that will come up to you and help you through stuff, you know. And I'm not the biggest, strongest guy in the gym by far, but you know, it's nice to know that you can be approachable.
Yes. One of the lines you just dropped on as well was about being normal all your life, yeah? But also like you, I completely also, we didn't do this in the intro, not that it matters, but you also live on a boat. Yeah. How's the boat life?
That's where I got the nickname Captain Jack.
Yeah.
That was mostly financial reasons and a splash of homelessness as well, believe it or not.
Just dusted in.
Yeah. Well, if you don't laugh, you cry. Yeah. But like I was, during lockdown, I was staying in like a shared accommodation and it was a houseboat. And the conditions were bloody awful. Wow. It was so bad. But I met like a few people like living there, and we kind of, we all thought we can do this ourselves, but better, you know? Yeah. So we all saved up our money and we all got our own boats. Wow. And yeah, I live on the river, so I'm on the River Thames. Yeah.
Amazing. What's like some of the what's the harsh bits and what's the fun bits?
Oh man, I've got stories.
Yeah.
I've ended up sideways in a weir.
Oh wow.
On my first boat, and that was before I even bought it. It was my mate's boat. Yeah, the current basically caught us. We ended up sideways in the weir. We had to get the RNLI.
Yeah.
To thank you.
What's the weir?
lifeguards.
Sorry, is that the really big wide bit you're not supposed to go in, where the water goes through the rapids?
Yeah, so it's kind of like rapids that if you go through, you die.
Right.
So,
okay.
And we reversed out of the lock, and the current caught us, and we ended up like T-boned up against a pillar.
Oh.
And the lifeguards had to come out and get us, and they were so lovely. But I had half a bottle of whiskey, so this is going back like a few years now. But yeah, it caused a bit of a scene. But that was back in the day. And then I sort of upgraded my boat, and now I'm on a 26-foot cruiser. Okay. Cabin cruiser.
Good.
It's nice.
And so with that though, you were saying about the whiskey and the sobriety and stuff, we talked about recovery briefly. Like, how have you found, without going into a massive deep spaces
of course. Yeah, no one wants to know all about that.
No, not on a podcast anyway. Not on this podcast. Maybe on your podcast.
Maybe.
Just like what's some of the sort of maybe takeaways you would give to people that maybe, you know, for them to even, like, maybe not alcoholics or people like that, but how people, when you even mention to people, you're like, you don't drink.
Yeah.
And then they're like, what do you do? Have you ever had that? What do you do?
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Yeah.
It, like, in the early days, it kind of took some adjusting, and you obviously stick with it. I stuck with it. But after a while, you kind of just become that mate that doesn't drink, you know? And at first, like, it's tough at first because you're constantly validating yourself, and you're like, I don't drink, hi, I'm Jack, I don't drink, you know, and all this sort of stuff. And then you get the questions like, oh, why? Or like, what happens if you have a drink? Or like, you know, you're a bit of a nutter when you've had a drink, that kind of thing. And it's like, I don't drink, you know? And after a while, like, when you stick with it, people kind of just see you as that mate that will have a Pepsi. Or, you know, or will have a lime and soda and shut up for once, you know?
Or not shut up if it's the right time of day.
If you've had 4 coffees, coffee's amazing.
Yeah,
I love my coffee now.
Yeah.
You need something.
Yeah, or when you're pumped from the gym, you probably want to just talk to everybody afterwards.
Oh, I talk to everyone before, during, after my training. I don't shut up in the gym. I spend 3 hours in there.
Really?
Yeah. On a day where I'm not rushing and I'm not sort of like in and out, I can spend like 3 hours in there just talking to people. Because everyone's bloody lovely in there. All the staff and, like, you know, the people you meet through going to the gym. But
it's a journey when you get relaxed to it, and it's your mindset and it's your happy space. Then you take your time, you chat to the people on the way in, you get your locker, you like feel relaxed, you think about some crazy warm-up you're going to do, which is probably completely unrelated to what you're going to do, or you do something bizarre, or then somebody challenges you to do some weird thing they've seen on Instagram, like flip a dumbbell upside down, or Thor's hammer. Have you ever done that one?
Oh, I haven't done that one, no.
Hold it by the end. And
hold it, I didn't even know that was a thing.
And you can flip 20 kilo plates and recatch them. I mean, that's impossible.
Wow. Okay, I haven't done that one.
Yeah. Well, what about the push-ups on the plates on the sides, when that's like designed to break the wrist?
I haven't done any of these.
No?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we'll have to get you doing one.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be up for that. So like, do you think though that the mindset that you had around, because then other people could also flip this around and say, well, look, you guys quit alcohol, then you guys do fitness, that's easy for you, and then so then you could also say, well, you've quit alcohol, so it's super easy for you to go on a 1,800 calorie diet, because but was there any tools that you crossed over and you used to get to that point, or what was the vision that really helped you get to those low calories and get to that cut? I mean, when the photo shoot side of it was like determination. It was like, I've stopped drinking now, and I think when I started my photo shoot prep, it was in September, and end of September I hit like the 2 years of sobriety. So by that point I was like, okay, if I can do this is the next challenge. And I thought, like, I've never done anything like this before, but in 3 months I dropped 10 kilos.
Wow.
And went on the calorie deficit, intermittent fasting, and it was just to like show that you could do it, you know. And by the end of it, the photos looked amazing.
Yes.
But
and if any of you do want to see the photos, I'm pretty sure if you follow Jack, you'll see them every day.
pretty much every day.
Yeah. On repeat.
Forever naked.
I mean, but I love some of the, just on the side, some of the creativity that you must have brought to the photographer when he was like a normal gym photographer, and you were probably like, oh, I've got this idea, what about this?
Yeah, I turned up with an anchor.
Yes.
And I think that's what we're getting to. Like, I kind of wanted to plug my art page because I do designs and like sketch and draw. I'm an artist of some sorts, not a piss artist anymore.
Right.
But yeah, I kind of turned up with like, it's called a 4-way folding grapnel. And it's like the kind of thing you luz in the river to stop your boat quickly. And I turned up with that and was like, let's just do some cool photos with that, you know, and like have a laugh with it. And yeah, they came out really well, actually. So
amazing. And so go on then. So what is this art bit, and how did that overlap from tattoos, or?
Yeah, so where I work in a tattoo studio, I kind of like I've been around tattoos my entire life. I don't tattoo myself, but I've always been sort of inspired by that kind of art form. And I draw and I sketch and I paint and I do that sort of stuff like in my spare time. And my art page is called Captain Jack's Flash, which is basically like Procreate stuff, like digital art mostly. But I do draw on paper as well. I think it's good to like stick with sort of like old school mediums. Yeah. But yeah, I've done that my whole life. Like my mum and dad were covered in tattoos, like head to toe. And then I ended up in the industry during my sobriety, which is great. And now I just kind of do it in my spare time for fun, you know?
And hopefully we'll see some t-shirts middle of this year.
That's the plan.
I mean, you said you got a lot of feedback. I mean, I love some of your designs, and you put something on Instagram and I immediately was like, you were like, shall I make this into a t-shirt? And I was like, yeah, I'll have two. Like, I think people will definitely want to get behind you on that.
I just thought it'd be cool to have like some designs on gym gear, you know?
Okay.
And just like have people in the gym wearing, you know, a Captain Jack design, you know? It'd be kind of cool.
Well, again, it's pushing that boundary, because, I mean, I've worked across quite a few gyms and across quite a few different places, but you often, as I say, you find that there's a lot of people maybe feel excluded by gyms, you know, whether it's because everything's gone towards, first it was like shakers and then steroids and like that kind of vibe. And then it was always like this Gymshark clothing and stuff like that. Which is great, and it's good clothing. But I'm just saying is that I do often feel like sometimes a lot of the marketing and the media stuff, like
it's shit.
Yes,
it's terrible.
It's also never aimed at everybody. It's only aimed at one type of.
It's like this is what I'm constantly banging on about, is that like, I'll put up my progress pictures to say, this is what you can achieve through hard work, blah, blah, blah. But this is possible, you know? And I talk about my recovery because it gives it a bit of context, you know? It gives it a bit of juice to say like, that's what I was, this is what I am now. But there's so many different people that walk through the gym that, you know, suffer from anxiety and like are super anxious about coming in. Body dysmorphia is a thing. And people that, you know, are just intimidated by it. And it shouldn't be that way at all. So when I put stuff out there, or if I'm seeing somebody else in the gym, it's to help them and egg them on, you know, and give them that kind of boost that they need. Because it shouldn't be like that, you know. People can't always afford Gymshark. Gymshark's freaking expensive, you know. A pair of joggers is like 50 quid, but you're paying for the name, you know. You could turn up in shorts and a t-shirt from Primark and I'd respect that. Because you're in the gym, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think, especially for my sort of guys, I'm normally aiming out talking to busy dads who maybe used to train a lot longer ago and then now don't train, and then they come back to the gym and you know they want to train because they want to live a bit longer for their kids or whatever.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
They also want to maybe get rid of some of those bad habits. But then they walk into a gym and they're just like, is going on. You know? And then they're like, this is just, so hopefully through different ways of training, through different mediums of like information, sharing things with people. Like I'm even really a big advocate for like, start small, you know, like if you could go for a walk go for your first couple of runs outside of a gym. Try some home workouts before.
Yeah.
You know, like, have you ever, like, were you completely off training when you were in Mexico? I mean, you probably had like freaking every day.
I took a break, over Christmas. I was in Mexico over Christmas because I have family over there. It's like my partner's family.
Oh, yeah?
But when I was over there, I just, I didn't use a gym.
Yeah.
But I did climb the side of a mountain, which is good cardio, and you get steps in.
And you went up what's it called?
I was up a temple at one point as well.
Yeah. But what I remember, so within that 2-year period though, so like when you couldn't get to see Toby or train, like, did you ever try any other sort of forms of exercise outside of the gym?
For me personally, no.
Okay,
I found it, that's just for me though.
Yeah.
Like, I found it very difficult to train at home or like train on my boat.
I can imagine that.
I enjoyed going to the gym because it was like I could actually walk there, do the act of like getting through the door, and once you're there, you're in that zone, you know, you're there. But the guy that I train with, Toby, he does make a point quite a lot actually of saying to people, like, you have mums, you have dads, you have husbands and wives, you have people that like have kids, cannot commit all the time to going into the gym. So see it as a positive, like go walk your dog, or chuck a frisbee around the garden with your kids, you know, or like he makes a point of saying, like, you know, anything can be exercise if you think about it, you know, like doing stuff in your garden with your family, with your kids, you know, it's good. And then that way, if you do, you know, get anxious about going into the gym, you can start slowly, do that sort of stuff from home, you know, and build up to it. So.
Do you think there's more, this is a random question, this is probably funny. Do you think people got more chance of getting a tattoo than they do of going to a gym the first time?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
I'd say so.
The people you've seen come through the door.
Yeah, I get asked about it all the time.
Yeah?
Like, are you a tattooist? Or like, how many tattoos have you got? Or like,
how many have you got then? Go on, throw some fun facts out there.
Oh, God.
Pub quiz. Jack's pub quiz.
Jack's pub quiz.
Win Jack's first t-shirt if you can remember, if you've seen this podcast, how many tattoos.
Yeah. I guess, like, because this is a sleeve, what you would call a sleeve. So 1, my whole back's done. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'd actually probably say about 7.
But no, so we talked a bit about your artwork, we talked about your amazing performance in the gym over the last 2 years, but really what you said was that it was also, you did a lot of that in 3 months of just real hard work.
Yeah.
So just briefly on that though, again, like, when you're the cuttest ever, right, it's not maintainable. It's like, how were you cut for? A week?
Yeah, it's very important to note that kind of thing is not sustainable for long-term training.
Yeah.
Like, I was training for a photo shoot, for a fitness photo shoot, to be in the best shape of my life, but I felt terrible. Like,
because we tried to do this podcast once or twice in that period.
Yeah,
I'm
was
hitting
exhausted.
Him up. Yeah, I'm messaging you, going like, "Come on, mate, it's only an hour," and you're like, literally. I think one of your best voice notes was you were like, literally, I have 1,500 calories today. If I was coming, like, almost if I was coming to see you, I would need to eat more.
I would need to eat. Yeah. I mean, usually I have a lot of energy. Like, it's probably undiagnosed ADHD, but who cares, you know? And I usually have quite a lot of energy and I'm bouncing off the walls, and by the end of it, I was just like, oh. But it's not sustainable. No. Like, you can't eat like that. Like, I think the average male, like, adult needs, like 2,400 calories a day? Yeah. Like, something? Yeah. Like, I was on 1,500 by the end of it.
For a week? Or?
Like, that last week was 1,500, but the month leading up to it was like 1,500, 1,800. In between that bracket. It's like, you know, you're having less carbs. You know, I didn't eat bread for 3 months. And it's like, you sacrifice those things for the photo shoot, but it's not sustainable in the long run. And I had people messaging me being like, I want to do what you've done. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, you can do that, but you can't do it forever, you know? Yeah. And over Christmas, I ate a bunch of tacos. So... Well,
What's those other nice things?
It's
Empanadas.
great.
Yeah.
Oh man, like
Or,
carnitas,
yeah.
like tacos, carnitas, and like they have this like incredible dish. It's called like chilaquiles.
Yeah.
Which is like, I don't even know what was in that thing, man. But it was like pulled chicken and like salsa verde and like quesadilla and tortillas. But the food there's amazing. So good.
Oh, yeah. I would
Got
love
to eat healthy.
get to the other side of the world there. Well, yeah. So we covered off the diet a bit. Covered off the scariness of the gym. Talked about your artwork. Is there any other bit? And we talked about boat life. Is there any other bits we really wanted to catch off for those at home? How's the music? You play or you just go to music?
I don't play myself. I like my live music.
Yeah,
I love my live music. I'm into a lot of punk and like I listen to kind of like niche music.
Yeah,
I guess I love music. I listen to everything, but I think.
Any good bands come out of the Fighting Cocks recently? Seen some good ones?
I haven't actually been to the Fighting Cocks, which is a rock bar in Kingston.
Yeah,
but
I think I'm not even sure how we know each other.
We probably had a shot together in there at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's usually good bands that play in there. But because I work just above at Old London Road Tattoos, it says it on the t-shirt. Don't know if you can see. But yeah, because I work above the music venue, you can usually hear like the music like downstairs, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I'm into like a lot of like folk music as well, and like folk punk and like, you know, mandolin playing and banjo, stuff like that.
While you're doing your steps.
While I'm doing my steps, yeah. It's good. I like river music.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of got the whole pirate thing going on.
Yeah, I do love it. It's always something different coming out of your Instagram, like whether it's your crazy, insane workout videos, or some music. That's good.
I will say, I did think of something to talk about, actually. Yeah, it's like when I started my sort of sober journey and recovery, everyone said to me, don't get in a relationship, like it's a bad idea, like focus on yourself, which is great, and I did, but I did get a cat. And I would highly recommend getting yourself a little cat if you're going through those kind of motions, because I have a little black cat called Howard, and he's freaking awesome, and he's a sober cat, and he lives on the river with me, and he's like, he's incredible.
But how did Howard help you in those bits? What was it? The routine again?
Well, I mean, I live by myself. I do have a girlfriend, but she lives obviously in her own house. But it's nice, like before we met, like it's nice to have like a little companion, you know, someone there to help you when you're feeling low or you're feeling a bit crap. So yeah, my cat's awesome. I just had to plug Howard there. Shout out to Howard. Yeah.
In case he's watching.
In case he's watching, he's doing the rounds.
And do you, do you often find though that like, obviously still training, because even though you become sober, you don't always become fixed. Yeah. So by becoming sober, we don't just become fixed overnight.
Absolutely.
Did you find that also exercise is just a great way to sort of level out those intrusive, crazy thoughts or just absolute madness that sometimes continues even though you're on a sober path?
100%, yeah. 100%. Like by the end of my drinking career, I was mental. I was completely insane. Like I'd lost my mind. And going into the gym, I can put my music on as loud as I want. I can put my headphones on. I can do my weird dances in between sets, you know, when I'm really getting into it. And, you know, the music hits differently when you're doing a strong workout, because you can just power through and you can get all of those intrusive, horrible thoughts out of your head and like put the past in the past where it belongs and focus on the now and be present. And it's just an incredible feeling. And it just goes back to like how I make the connection between training at the gym and going to a place like Alcoholics Anonymous, going to meetings, it's a very similar scenario. So just got to keep doing it.
You just touched on something interesting, actually, that I feel like sometimes even I'm learning with these podcasts a bit, is that also it's good to give people some tips. But how do you find staying in the now? You just went through a beautiful little clip that will make an amazing clip, because I've got like 4 brains going in my head, and I was like, wow, that was a golden little sentence. But you literally went through like, let the past be in the past, stay in the now.
Yeah.
And you said one other thing, but like, what does that mean to somebody that might be watching this that is like, maybe not an alcoholic or an alcoholic, or just struggling, like, and they're thinking like, okay, it's impossible for me to go to the gym to lose 15 kilos, who actually is 15 kilos overweight, not cut weight, or perhaps they're like, freaking, in that cycle of maybe not drinking alcoholically, but still drinking on that border. So like Friday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, better have a beer on Sunday, then not have a beer on Monday, and then constantly be feeling like, shit happened in my past, I don't know what to do with it. Like, what would you be, any of your like random, I mean, I find some of it for me personally, since going to the meetings, being amongst it, and then trying to just recently, like, I mean, I'm not a perfect recovery case, but I crashed and come up, but now I almost get through, it's so much in the now.
Yeah, you
then
plateau
I've forgotten
sometimes.
about everything else. Yeah, but no, it's like you just get that calm.
Yeah.
Like you did talk about it earlier, we said earlier, like the first month of quitting drinking is like...
It's horrible.
It's fucking impossible.
It's difficult.
It's a daily thing, so that's why the recommendation is to go to a meeting every day.
Yeah, surround yourself, like, if I had to say anything, just like try and surround yourself with good people. You will know who good people in your life are. Like, when I started out, I cut a lot of people out of my life, like a bunch of people. Like, it's quite a difficult practice to stay in the now. It's not easy. Like, I struggle with it as well, still to this day. But like, there's just one word that I freaking love, and it is gratitude. Okay. Because like, you think like the human mind is such a powerful tool that you can use to your advantage. And there's moments where, and it's so easy to slip into those bad habits where you're like, oh, like I'm worthless, or like, you know, I've done this wrong in my life, I've done that wrong in my life, or like this person doesn't like me. And you just have to just pause for a moment, take a step back, and just be grateful to actually have a pulse and just be there right now in the present, you know? And like, it's a hard thing to do, and I still struggle with it. But gratitude is incredible, because then you think like the smallest thing, like, I've got a little cat, or I've got a roof over my head, or I've got a meal in my fucking belly, excuse my language. But, you know, it's little things like that, and you're like, you know, it's actually not too bad.
And then you build on them. Then you go, okay, what's today's challenge going to be?
Yeah.
All right, I did that challenge, now what could the next one be?
Everyone's different. Like, you can set yourself a goal and then try and go for that goal. And you might not feel it that day, but at least you gave it a go. You know, and it's again going back to like being held accountable, you know, and it's like, as an alcoholic, I crave structure and routine, and I now have that in my life. But I also have moments where, you know, I'm a human being. Not everything is a bed of sunshine and daisies and roses all the time. Do you know what I mean? Far from it. And I stress a lot. And I have moments where I'm like, this is crap. I just want to go off and like, you know, put my head in the sand, you know, or in the river, whatever.
In the river.
But, you know, but then I do just take that step back and I think, right, I've just had lunch, just spoken to my dad, got a roof over my head, going home tonight, read a book, like just take those tiny, tiny little luxuries in life and just remember that you're still here.
I love it.
So,
yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And just be good to yourself as well, isn't it?
Just be kind to yourself, man. Yeah, self-care is like, the gym is self-care, going to AA is self-care, making yourself a cup of tea is self-care. It's the little things that I like.
Good. Well, I mean, look, hopefully that helps some of you at home. Obviously, if you want to find Jack, you've got your new one. Your new page is called?
It's Captain Jack's Flash. That's the art page.
That's the art page.
And my Instagram, my main Instagram is I'm Captain Jacked.
Yeah. Yes.
Which is
Jacked now.
A little play on words.
Oh yeah. You've always had the ED. Or...
Yeah. No, I changed it. I just thought it sounded good because I got jacked.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Yeah, I often end up messaging you on both because I don't know which one was
one I'm going to be on.
Yeah. And look, same thing as always. If you guys want to try something new, you want to try something different, hopefully me interviewing these people or meeting these people gives you some sort of idea that there's possibilities for you to try things, you know, whether it's climbing, diving, archery, going to the gym, getting super cut, or just doing your first 5K, or, you know, taking the dog for a walk.
Yeah.
Throwing the frisbee to yourself.
Throwing the frisbee to yourself.
Yeah.
Or get a boomerang.
Yes, we were both on the same one there. Yeah, all right, well, look, yeah, see you all soon, and cool, thanks, buddy.
Thank you very much, my friend. It's been a pleasure.